my good friend Chase Hamby here. If you haven't already, go over to our YouTube channel, hit like and subscribe, hit that little bell in the corner so you get notified when all of our videos come out. We just dropped some crazy Kansas footage from our waterfowl trip. Make sure you look at that. We're actually fresh back from our waterfowl trip. We're back in Georgia. We got a buttload of green-winged teal. We're gonna make some smash burgers. I also got my friend Connor Dove here. These boys are gonna help me in the kitchen today. We're gonna prep up all this food. We're gonna get this duck ready. We're gonna make some really good burgers. It's an easy recipe to follow. You can make it for a bunch of people. Stay tuned. You're not gonna wanna miss this. These things are really good. So this is a super simple way. I prep all these ingredients. I'm gonna slice the tomato in about, thin slices. Slice the tomato however you want. The thing that I like with my onions, I don't like them diced up. I like them in a little bit longer sections. So I'm gonna cut them in half. I'm gonna face them face down, and then I'm gonna cut them into these longer strips. We're gonna saute those, let them caramelize in some butter, and then those are gonna be a topping. And then we're gonna come through and dice these up pretty thin. These are fresh, so they're gonna have some heat on them. I don't want them super thick to where you can't hardly even taste your burger. So we're gonna slice those up a little thinner. We're gonna slice these up, like I said, tomato, do it how you want. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna slice these in half, butter them up, brown them up, and then we'll be ready. These smash burgers don't take long in the cast iron. We're just gonna smack them down, maybe 2 minutes each side. They're gonna be small, that's why they go fast. That's why I like them. So what we have here, boys, is 10 freshly harvested, non-GMO, non-additive, perfectly healthy. I mean, just look at the quality in this meat. This is 10 green-winged teal breasts right here. What we're gonna do today is make some, what I like to call duck smashers. You call them smash burgers, you call them sliders, you call them whatever. It's not gonna take you long. It's pretty easy, especially if you got one of these bad boys right here. Doesn't matter what brand, whatever. You can even get a knife or a pounding hammer, whatever, and you just start smacking these ingredients together, chop them up, smush them together. We're gonna get the oil in the pan smoking hot, and we're just gonna smack these puppies on here. It's really easy, it's really good. Y'all just stay tuned. You're gonna smell this here in a second, just wait.
What kind of ratio are you looking for here, Shane?
Usually I want to go with like a 70-30 ratio. I want just enough fat. I want just enough fat to be able to hold this duck together. It's super lean, but I don't want it to turn into just a bacon burger, you know what I'm saying? We're eating duck at the end of the day. So just enough to get everything to bind and stick together to where it's not going to fall apart in the pan. So you're usually looking at like a 70-30, 70-35 is what I usually go with.
This is my first time ever watching anybody prepare any duck or anything else, so this would be a good time to learn from me right here.
Yeah. It's something super simple and easy. Like I said, you don't have to have a grinder. We'll start with the next 10, keep that bacon coming. That's looking good.
Right here, so you can use that as needed.
That's good. When I start to grind my meat, I don't like to thaw it all the way out, because once you start grinding fully thawed meat, things just get, basically you can form semi-frozen meat better. So I like to keep it just a little cold or else things start to get really greasy. That's basically that. Pro tip real quick. I'm gonna come through here. I'm gonna make sure all of this fat is well incorporated. That's just Applewood smoked bacon. And we're gonna make duck smashers. So I'm not gonna make these super big because we're gonna end up just putting them in a ball, smacking these in the freezer so they firm up a little bit more. And then once we get that hot oil going in the pan, we're just gonna, that's where they get the name smash. We're just gonna smash them down the pan. Smash burgers, sliders, you name it, we got it. Like I said, these are quick and easy. You know, I'm not making this a beautiful presentation because at the end of the day, these are smash burgers, okay? These are gonna go fast, these are gonna go quick. It's a quick, easy thing. I'm gonna slide these in the freezer to firm them up a little bit so that way whenever we're done prepping everything over here, I'm gonna take them out. They're gonna be a little firm and they're gonna go straight on that cast iron. It's gonna be good, buddy. Just like that, all of our ingredients are prepped. I got my onions here. We're gonna caramelize those. I have my tomatoes. They're pretty thinly sliced. I'm a fan of iceberg. Say what you want. I don't care. I like iceberg lettuce. Okay, get off me. We got well, somebody moved my jalapeno here. Then we have a nice jalapeno presentation. Some sharp cheddar cheese. We're gonna slice these buns and brown them before we eat. And all that's left now is just some smashing and some burger, and we got some green wings mixed with some little smoked bacon fat, fresh out of the grinder. We're gonna take them out there, throw them on the cast iron, super hot, super fast, and we're gonna eat quick. And that's what I like about this recipe. It's all about the quickness.
Good times, man.
Living the dream out here.
Back here at the Fox and the Pointers headquarters in Georgia. Preparing some food for some green-winged teal.
Living the dream.
That's right.
All right, here's your daily Southern cooking tip. This one's applying to cooking with butter. If you're gonna cook with butter, you gotta know that butter has a higher burning point than any of your olive oils, your vegetable oils, your canola oils. So always keep that in mind. If you got something that you're gonna cook for a long time in oil, you may wanna stick more on the oil side than the butter or do a mix of the two. Because if you gotta burn something really hot, odds are your butter is gonna end up burning quicker than your oil or your vegetable oil, your canola oil, your olive oil, whatever you decide to use. So, almost every time I'm cooking meat, I usually have some sort of vegetable in there, and I like to sear or a pan fry, whatever. I like to call it sear, saute. I didn't go to culinary school. You're doing the onions in the pan with the butter and the garlic. When you're doing that, especially if you don't have meat that you think is gonna last a long time, it's not gonna take a long time to cook. I always start my vegetables, especially if I'm doing a big handful, before I start my meat, because a lot of the times, if you're cooking vegetables, they're gonna take longer to cook than your meat. I only want to cook my patties for maybe 2.5 minutes on each side, and I know these onions are gonna take a while to caramelize, so I'm gonna let these cook down a little bit, and then once I start seeing them brown a little bit and caramelize, then I'm gonna hurry up and smack these patties on the hot skillet, so that way we're taking the caramelized onions off hot, and then our patties are coming off hot too, and then bam, that's your last step. All that's left is your garnishes. All right, so our onions are just now starting to get browned up. There's still some that are still needed to get cooked. I don't want to cook them all the way through. What I'm going to do is go ahead and get this pan hot and get my patties on there. And so that way, I know they're not going to take that long. So what I'm going to do is, all these finished cooking, I'm going to get these patties on here. And so when we pull them out, we're going to take the patties off, put some onions on, get some cheese going, and then it's off to the races from there. So we'll go from there.
You sure you didn't go to culinary school? Mm-hmm. I think you might be lying, guys. He went to culinary school.
I watched a lot of Man vs. Food. Oh, hold on. Man vs. Food, diners, drive-ins, and dives, baby. You learn everything
That's a
there.
good show right there. Really good show.
So, when you go to throw your pre-smashers in the freezer, I'd say only leave them in there as long for them to get a little firmed up, but just enough for you to smash them. I left them in here a little bit too long, but it's still okay as long as you can smash them down a little bit, add a little more extra butter, keep rolling with it, don't stop, just throw them on that puppy. So I got a mix here of garlic powder, cayenne pepper, salt, regular pepper, garlic. What else is there? Brown sugar, some spice, juniper berries. You get the gist. Use whatever your favorite thing is. You don't have to follow this recipe exactly. Follow the steps. Add or subtract whatever you want to. It's going to work for you. Okay, so one pro tip for making smash burgers. Whenever you press those burgers down the pan, let them sit there for a second to develop that crust. So it's not going to take long. Once you put them on that hot oil and butter in the cast iron, they're going to start to develop a crust. So you want to let that form to build its structure. And then so once you get ready to go flip these things, you flip them over, nothing's falling apart. Give it a good brown sear. Flip it over, it's going to hold together well. So one thing when you're cooking duck, a good rule of thumb is don't overcook your duck, especially if you're dealing with some sort of diver, or sometimes geese tend to have a little more wild flavor. What you want to do with those other birds is let those soak for a day or two, And whether it's just a simple brine, sugar, water, salt, or you can do anything, whether it's balsamic vinegar or Italian dressing, that goes for any of your diverse species. What we're doing here with just some puddle duck, we got green-winged teal. This is gonna go for your mallard. This is gonna go for any of your puddle ducks. Don't overcook them. In this case, we're making sliders. We have everything ground up. We have a mix of bacon. We can afford to sear these pretty good and not overcook them. But if you're gonna do like a nice glaze or an oven roasted duck where you're gonna be rendering fat and doing like a nice base on them, don't overcook them. Your wild duck is gonna be best served medium to medium rare, and that's gonna save you from overcooking your duck and having that off gamey flavor that some people like to complain about. You won't hear me complaining about it, but you people out there who cook wild game know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know how to cook wild game, listen to that piece of advice right there. Do not overcook your wild game, because that's the main reason why people get turned off of wild game, is because either one, somebody doesn't know how to prepare it, or two, it gets overcooked and you start to get into that tough, gamey flavor. Be easy on them. You'll be glad you did. Alright, so here's what you're gonna end up with. We toasted our bread, we caramelized our onions, our smash burgers are right here. Everything's coming off all at one time. I can't believe I got it this time. For once, I actually got the timing down, got the onions, everything's coming out at the right time. Appreciate my boys for helping out, because it's not always this easy. So shout out to them. This is what's gonna make it look good right here. I'm gonna grab my piece of buttered bread. I'm gonna grab me a smash burger right there. What I'm gonna do is grab me this spoon here. I'm gonna get some caramelized onions. I'm gonna throw that puppy on there, right there. Come with me. And then from here, I'm gonna smack a couple of jalapenos on there. I'm gonna come in here and get my cheddar cheese. I'm gonna throw my tomato on there. We'll put me a little iceberg lettuce on there. And just wait, classic ballpark style, coming at you live from Rodman's kitchen. Only the finest condiments will do. We got some off-brand yellow mustard, but wait, here's the Heinz. Chill out. I know you're wanting it. I'm gonna hit it with one of these.
That's a
Ready?
deep slider if I've ever seen one.
Okay, well here it is. We got some nice green-winged teal. I call them duck smashers. You call them what you want. I'm coining the term right now, okay? What we have is some green-winged teal ground up with some Applewood smoked bacon and some nice little smasher patties. We got some caramelized onions, some cheddar cheese, some thinly sliced jalapenos, cheese, lettuce, tomato, ketchup, mustard. Put whatever you want on it, but we're not waiting any longer. We're about to dig in. Let's take a bite,
Right.
fellas.
Let's do it, boys.
Yeah.
That is delicious. Man, give me some knuckles right there. Good stuff.
One thing that'll help you, wow, when cooking these small patties, by putting them in the freezer, you pull them out, they're not going to cook as fast. So if you have a cold patty and you want to cook your burgers medium to medium well, that's going to hold some of that colder temperature. You can still put a nice sear on it and some hot heat, and you're still going to preserve some of that pink inside. So that's what we're looking at right there.